1982. Robert Muldoon I already knew. Dennis Nedry I found in Cambridge, and despite his idiosyncrasies, he was years ahead of his competition. Dennis fancied himself quite the hacker. He had his own locks for his doors. His office decorations were quite outside company regulations. Henry Wu was an only child from Ohio, a prodigy. He gained early attention for his undergraduate thesis at MIT. Dr. Wu's laboratory was a mystery to me. I never finished my schooling. I had a child's idea of science, test tubes, explosions, and miracles. The main laboratory and administrative buildings, this was where we made our discovery, where the real magic trick happened. When they come to dig up our secrets, they'll come here. It was strange to move from the field, the hot sun, dirt on one's trouser cuffs, into the cool, sterile darkness of the lab. The sharp tang of the preservative chemicals, the coolness and hush of the sterile chamber, the daily ritual of decontamination. The centrifuge whirred night and day, the slow alchemy of genetic replication. The clear fluid held a cloudy layer of DNA strands. Keyboards rattled into the early morning. Ranks of green CRT screens displayed collated genetic data. Three Cray XMPs move more data faster than any computer center in the Americas. Site B was fully centralized and computer-controlled, the same design that became the Achilles heel of Jurassic Park. Diagnostics, communications, security, all ran through the computer. Accordingly, computer security was paramount, the tightest on the island. Left to itself, the facility reverts to minimal power, chiefly battery-powered security systems. It can sustain itself almost indefinitely. We worked long into the night, feeling at times as if the whole of the earth had fallen away outside, leaving only the darkness, the work, the endless questioning into the past. It was in the last days of genetic recovery, and at this point, nothing was certain. Was the DNA there? Could we bring it back? Up the well? In a quiet, locked room, the extinction of species, the history of life on Earth, is being methodically reversed. It was 3 a.m. The room was strewn with soda cans, and for the 100th time, we ran the extraction sequence. As Nedry typed, the world seemed to hold its breath, and for a moment we stood at the turning point between two great planetary eras, the million-year reign of man and the age of the dinosaurs. Dennis, what are we looking at here? All my life I'd waited for something great, something extraordinary. And then it opened up. The code read true. The barrier of time for an instant opened. Nedry and I stared into the monitor. Straight back through 65,000 centuries. I began to have my first inkling of the seriousness of our work. How deep the well was. This was life from 65 or 100 million years before mankind. The greatest discovery of the 20th century. In 11 months, Site B became the most powerful genetics facility in the world. We were neither the only covert business to thrive in Central America nor the most dangerous. By 1983, we held 13 new patents. November 1983, test fertilization of an artificial ovum. The genie was out of the bottle. The raptor took shape inside its egg, and I watched it on the ultrasound monitor. It looked like a ghost or a puff of smoke. Velociraptor, a small theropod native to China and Mongolia. Pack hunter, quite vicious and quite intelligent. We released the first raptor on April 22nd, 1985. It wandered back and forth near the wall for 4 minutes and 22 seconds before hearing a noise, which drew it further off into the brush. The raptor padded in towards sundown. It drank nervously, careful of the dangers of the Jurassic waterhole. The raptor preened itself, utterly confident of its right to be there, absolutely no consciousness that it was not the sovereign ruler of this earth. For 4 months we'd monitored it while it preyed on herds in the southern forest. We never knew why it grew so large. In the summer of 1988, it began moving north. Not all the original species survived. In the end, only a few adjusted to the new world. These became dominant. Brachiosaur, oldest of our recreations by 50 million years. The only true Jurassic native. One of the largest creatures ever to live. The Brachiosaur moved like planets among the smaller species. Tyrannosaurus rex, tyrant lizard. They reigned for 25 million years. We grew 7 of them, the 7 rulers of the island. And despite what we'd been led to believe, the T-Rex was not a scavenger at all. We clocked one at 50 kilometers an hour. Triceratops, with the Tyrannosaur, one of the last dinosaurs to live naturally on our planet. Albertosaur, alone, fast and strong, eking out a living between the 7 Tyrannosaur and the 3 raptor tribes. The Albertosaurs took to the open fields like lions to the Serengeti. In the jungle, the forest, and the mountain, 3 raptor tribes staked out territory. Albertosaurs and 7 T-Rex chose their dominions. Uneasy borders drawn around forest, ridges, and ponds. A 3rd tribe of raptors took the mountain for their territory, a leaner, tougher breed, quick, living on birds and tiny lizards. We tagged the most dangerous animals with radio collars that transmitted a warning signal, and workmen carried little boxes that played a tone when a tagged animal came near, at which point they would panic and flee in terror. The battery would last at least 20 years and wear like iron. By 1987, the first of them had reached full size. The ecosystem of another era began to reassert itself.